this is, again, it's a lovely big garden, lots of different marks, pencil marks and crayons and different layers of colors and washes. So it's the aim of it is just to create pathways, use your imagination. Where could this be leading? It's obviously somewhere relaxing. Um, yeah, so I'll put that back up there. So that's one of the latest ones. I love gardens. I love oh yeah, I forgot to say the name of that one. That was Heavenly Scent. So it's just something to inspire you, to make you think about maybe relaxing and enjoying time in a garden.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Creativity Worth Expressing. I'm your host, Ryan Anthony Hernandez, and today I'm here with special guest, Kate Schutte. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did indeed. It's a South African name, so
All
perfect.
right.
Perfect.
Woohoo.
You got it.
All right. So thank you for being here, Kate. How are you doing?
Doing fine. We're having a heat wave in Belfast. It was 16 degrees today. So it was like the summer, and we had a braai or a barbecue in the garden, and we burnt some sausages and then had them for dinner. So while I digest my food, I can just chat to you and enjoy some good conversation about creativity. So it's all good today.
So welcome to the show. And to get started, can you share with the audience what is your form or forms of creativity?
Gosh, good question. It changes depending on the season in my life, but I think my overriding creativity is visual. You can see behind me, I've got some of my latest pieces, and it's acrylic on canvas, mixed media. I've always been creative, whether it's making soap or crafts or jewelry. For years, I made jewelry and sold it. And I just think painting has always been something that I've been drawn to, in particular the colors. I love color and mixing colors, combining colors. Probably would have loved to have been an interior designer, but I went down a teaching route and I've lived abroad for a long time. So creativity in teaching, like creativity comes in so many different forms, but I guess at the moment that is my passion, is painting and expressing joy and beauty on canvas. That's what I love to do.
So you've had various forms of expressing your creative powers through
Yeah.
sculpting, like were you saying with the soaps and other
Yeah, jewelry
other
making, soap
jewelries.
making,
So
all
your
sorts of
your
things.
hands are always busy.
Yes,
Um,
as you can see, I have no nails. I have paint probably on my glasses. Yeah, I never get my nails painted because they'll fall off or they'll get chipped or I'll be scratching paint. And yeah, my hands are pretty hard wearing.
so
They're always busy.
when did you start having this curiosity with your hands to start making creative objects?
I think I was even at school, knitting when I was a child. But at school, I loved making things. I think I'm quite practical that way. Um, yeah, I guess it's always been something I've done, whether it's cutting and pasting or sticking things on or making, yeah, I can't even remember. It's so long ago, but I loved art at school. It's been a passion of mine. And I was told, I think my parents said to me, look, don't go down that road because it's very hard to make a living as an artist. So I shelved my art for a while and I basically went into languages and taught languages at high school. But there's always been that passion for art that I've never lost. I think it's a relaxation. It's a way of just going into my bubble and just forgetting about my worries. And I do believe all of us have a gift of creating. It's just finding what your thing is, whether it's cooking, whether it's writing, whether it's painting or knitting. But I find I'm just really pursuing my painting my love for color and paint at the moment. And I'm on a journey. No way am I there just yet. There's a long way to go, I think, to find your own style. So that's what I'm trying to find. Um, but it's coming. It's coming.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you mentioned just a minute ago that you put your art on the shelves and you pursued teaching, and you said, teaching also various languages. Would you say that creativity art has its own language? And if so, are there any art pieces that speak to you or that you just totally understand when you look at them?
Um, I have such vast um appreciation for all different types of things. I think I have one of those personalities. I get a bit bored with the same thing over and over again, but I find the more I look into what I actually love, what just clicks for me, it's the color, it's the mystery in the picture, it's the freedom. So I'm drawn more towards abstraction, towards yeah, less more a painterly style. I'm not one to slavishly copy a picture
Mhm.
because I can take a photograph. So why would I do that? And I think just this journey that I'm on, I'm beginning to realize that I've sort of observed too many. I've so many artists that you observe, but you get to a stage where you have to say, right, that's enough now. Is this going to take me? I'm on my own journey, not somebody else's journey. So it's learning how to steal really well from other people and make it into something of your own. And I'm still working that out, but I'm getting closer. These last few pieces that I've done, I'll show you behind me. I'm getting more towards the colors and the textures and, the different layerings of paint. So, do you want me to show you any of them?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely. Well, and just quick note for those who are listening on Spotify, go ahead and switch it over to Spotify video if you like at this moment, or if you're watching on YouTube, no problem. By this moment, we're going to be showing some art, so you can at this moment switch over to Spotify video to see what we are looking at right now.
okay, so this was one I did a while ago, but it's inspired by Van Morrison. If you've heard of Van Morrison, the
Yes.
artist, he grew up just down the road from me. And this is marvelous. This is Moon Dance. So
Mm,
it's not obviously like a photograph, but it's how I feel it would be like in a forest at night time with the moon out. I wanted to simplify the colors, I wanted to simplify the shapes, and create a nightscape with a moon. Okay. And this is what I came up with. I didn't have a picture to follow, it was just something in my imagination. But I like how it turned out. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but this is what I love. I love something that's contemporary, that's colorful, that yeah, that makes me wonder, what are those shapes? What are why those colors? So yeah, and then my husband's very clever. He's South African and he's good at woodwork, so he makes me these lovely frames. It's a nice box frame. This is acrylic on canvas, and I love experimenting with all the different colors. So that was an earlier piece where I was
mhm,
experimenting with abstraction. The one I've got here behind me is it's a theme that is quite dear to my heart, and it's just about gardens. Now I've recently varnished it and it's quite glossy and I'm not liking the gloss. I think
mm,
from now on I'm going to do a more matte. I think for larger pieces, matte is probably better because it
okay.
doesn't sort of gloss as much. But this is, again, it's a lovely big garden, lots of different marks, pencil marks and crayons and different layers of colors and washes. So it's the aim of it is just to create pathways, use your imagination. Where could this be leading? It's obviously somewhere relaxing. Um, yeah, so I'll put that back up there. So that's one of the latest ones. I love gardens. I love oh yeah, I forgot to say the name of that one. That was Heavenly Scent. So it's just something to inspire you, to make you think about maybe relaxing and enjoying. time in a garden.
So
Um,
with it's called Heavenly Scent, correct?
yeah, heavenly scent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we're looking at it, are there any symbolism or like deeper meaning in any of the um anything that you have painted there?
Well, I do believe that um, I need to be rooted. I think as a creative, it's easy to sort of go all over the place and sort of have lots of different ideas and bob around and not really focus on any one thing, you know. So I need to be rooted. So I like the fact that these plants are actually rooted in the ground. You can sort of see at the bottom, these are
Mm,
all the roots. Now my roots, I have been on a journey. Just with my faith in particular, I have a strong faith in God, and I'm trying to work out how I present that on canvas, you know. But I think it just goes into a lot of my pieces, and I try and just remind myself that I'm never going to be. I'm never going to make the real thing and anything as good as the real thing, but you know, I can do my best and I can use the gifts that I have. But I think it takes pressure off. I don't want to just beat myself up as an artist. I think it's easy to sort of think, oh, that's not as good as the real thing, or it's not the quite the right color. And I think as a creative, it's very easy to be critical of your art. But I want to enjoy it and I want to get better, obviously. But I also want to use it as a way to inspire others and, you know, whatever that might be. But for me, it's hard to separate my faith with my art. There's another one I'll show you here that I've done recently, and it's called
okay.
Bloom Where You're Planted. It's hard to see that. It's hard to see, but it's basically just abstractions of flowers, and it was more a reminder. Um, I don't know if you can see it very well. It's actually quite strong colours. Maybe if I
Yeah.
lift it up there, it sort of shows better whenever it's got less sort of glaring light in it. But it's you know, the idea of making the most of life where you are. I've traveled around a lot in the world as a teacher and married a South African and lived overseas for quite a long time. So I've only recently come back to Ireland and I missed a lot of things about being abroad. I missed the
Mm.
sunshine. I missed the people that I'd made friends with, the culture, the excitement. So it's more a reminder for myself to make the most of where I'm at and bloom where I'm planted. So I always love that saying, but it's just happy and it's a wee reminder to all of us just to make the most of where we are. So I think it's sort of like my art has been a healing process. It's been
Yeah.
just a grounding experience for me and a time to sort of reflect and meditate on where I'm at and just listen to what I'm feeling. Um, so it's just a way of doing that, and it slows me down. I think life can be so fast and hectic that art and expressing your art can just slow you down to listen. And certainly, it's been a journey of self-discovery for me because I realize actually this is what I'm loving.
Yeah.
And it's there's so many different voices that you hear on social media. Oh, you have to do this to earn the money and da da da. And I just think, you know what, you need to be clear about what you actually want. What am I wanting out of this? I know I'm at the minute, there's no way I'm going to be giving up my day job. So I work as a sub teacher. When people are sick, I would go in and help, you know, the class and everything. So I could be covering one day geography, next day I could be doing my subject, languages, French and German. But you know, it's exciting. I love people. I love meeting people. I'm naturally quite a nosy person,
Mhm.
but you know, I don't have the wherewithal to be able to give up that job because it's a good income for me. So I enjoy that because I don't want pressure on me to create and earn money. Yes, I would like to be able to earn money for it from it down the line, but I think that can impact your creativity.
Mhm.
Sometimes I know for me, it's sort of having said that, um, you know, yeah, it's nice to know that your stuff's appreciated. So that you are connecting with people and they want to buy your art. Anyway, I digress. I'm waffling again. Did I go off track there?
No, you're good. I wanted to ask now, going back, uh, because you did put your art on the shelf and you went on to teach. Let's reflect for a moment. Going back, what was it that, I don't know if it's inspired you or compelled you to go back to the arts and to create again?
Well, I think I've always been creating. I always made time to create something. It wasn't always painting. It was jewelry. I know when I lived in Kathmandu, I used to get the tuk-tuk and go into the center of Kathmandu and play with all the beads and buy beads, and then that got me into making jewelry. So I used to meet the Tibetans and the Indians, and they'd come with all their gems, and they would combine the colors, and I used to get very excited. Just it was something I loved. I think if it's your passion, you'll find it.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really shelved it totally. It was always part of me. I believe that all of us were hot wired to create. I believe that I was born with that desire to create. It's a God-given gift. I believe that it's something that we're given to really enjoy living and to find ourselves. I think all of us are searching for something. And I find in my art that, I tend to be drawn towards things that remind me of my immortality, that remind me of the bigger picture, and that take me out of myself and help me to reflect on what the meaning of life. Um, so for me, when I paint, I want it to be something that expresses that search, that quest, that love, that joy. And I find that totally, for me, impossible to find that without connecting it to my whole being, which is my faith in God and my groundedness. I mentioned earlier on about being a creative, and I'm so divided because my life is so busy with my kids and my dog and my mum who's got dementia, working full time. It's easy to be fragmented, and I find in all of this, I need to be rooted, not only in my art, but there's lots of different things that do root us, but I feel that my faith is what keeps me grounded. Um, and I'm learning how to express my faith through my art. I think sometimes it just happens. It just, and I believe that we're all on a different journey. And my journey at the minute it's early stages because I'm only new to visual art and painting form in the last, say, 4 or 5 years. I've always dabbled a bit and done sketches and things, but this is a more serious approach to it where I'm in galleries. I have my work in galleries. I have my work online. I've got a website. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, selling my stuff. Not making a living just yet, but maybe down the line that'll come. But I don't want to I want to grow organically. I don't want to push it and sell my soul in the process. I think it's so easy to get sucked in. And I know a lot of people say, look, if you're an artist, you have to spend at least 50% of your time marketing. And I don't want that. I don't want to
It's a lot of
marketing.
work. It's
It
time
is, and
consuming.
you end up having to learn a whole new skill. Like at the minute, I can just about cope with Instagram and all the different reels. And, I'm a 50, almost 55. So the younger generation could buy and sell me when it comes to, all the tricks of the trade. And I don't know if that's going to add much value. Yes, it might help you to earn a bit more money, but at the minute, it's just finding out what do I actually want from life? Is it all about money, or is it about creating something that I want people to enjoy? Is it about getting recognition? So it's all this soul searching that happens during the artistic process. Um, and sometimes you're a bit lonely in that because maybe you're not surrounded by like fellow creatives. Like sometimes I'm so busy that I don't get a chance to meet up with other fellow creatives and discuss these things. My husband's an engineer, so he doesn't get some of my abstract paintings. So not everybody will connect with that or will understand the journey that you're on. So yeah, I think it just takes time sometimes to sort of sort things all out in your head. And eventually it'll all fall into place and you'll find your groove. At the minute I feel I'm finding more what my art is and
So
what role it's got to play.
you said the word a little bit earlier, soul searching during this creative process. Is it
Mhm.
something that you're looking for, like specifically before you start painting, or do you do the soul searching while you're painting? How does that work?
Well, I know that I have my faith. I find my faith in Jesus, and that gives me my grounding. But
Mhm.
it's more, what does God want me to do with my art? Is there a specific purpose? But I might never know on this side of life, but I just think it's something I enjoy. But it's more finding out what my style is, what my type of preferences are. So it's not really soul searching, as it were. It's more finding out what you love, what makes you happy,
Mhm.
what do you enjoy painting. But yes, in the process, um, you're learning more about yourself
So
and what
it's
you want out of.
so it's a conversation with yourself and
Yeah,
God
but
and God.
yeah, I guess, you know, I was challenged recently. I sort of thought before I jump in and just paint something, maybe I should be praying about it beforehand. What should I be painting? Is there something? But I think that's just naturally what I read in my Bible. I sort of think maybe so at the minute it's gardens and growing and being rooted and planted and growing in goodness and in patience and those things take time. So I think, I'm not the most patient person, so I think I'm learning to be more patient and kinder to myself and not put pressure on myself um to always have a winner and to always
Mm.
be liked and to always connect with everybody. Some people will love your work, some people just won't get it. Some people will think, oh, a child could do that. And that's okay. I think I'm learning to be less reliant on what others think. It's a balance. I think it's just managing all these tensions because, you do want to sell your work at the same time, but I don't want to be making things for other people. I don't want to be doing something I don't enjoy. So I have to find out, and I think I'm getting there, what I really love to paint. And hopefully I'll connect with people that love to look at those paintings. But it's at the same time, it's just managing all those tensions as an artist. It's crazy difficult to make it as an artist in society, in the world. I think whether it's a musician, whether it's a podcaster, I think there's just so much competition and everybody's, fighting for airtime and it's exhausting. So that's why I'm quite glad that I don't have to do that. I think I would rather earn my money elsewhere and just have this as a side hustle.
Yeah.
I don't mean side hustle, but just something that I really enjoy. And then maybe when I retire one day, I can do more of it. But at the minute, for me, that's another thing, a journey. It's like, what do I want out of this? Do I want it? Do I want to make money? Is that my goal? Do I want to improve my painting? Do I want to have a hobby that I can just enjoy and give other people pleasure? So that is part of the soul searching as well, you
So
know.
it sounds like you've done a lot of self work, and it sounds like you love painting, and you don't listen to maybe criticism, or like you were saying that, oh, even a
Oh, I
kid.
do. I do
Are
listen to
you?
criticism, but I'm getting a lot better at blocking it out.
Well, it sounds like you're better at blocking it out then. So my question for you, because it sounds like you love what you do,
Mhm.
um, even though it's on the side, but you always find time and make time to do
Mhm.
your work. My question is, since you love it, what are the benefits you have seen from applying your time and energy and to producing these works of love?
Well, I get to connect with a lot of people. I'm currently working on a collaborative painting with a Mexican artist. It was the it was to celebrate 200 years of UK and Mexico collaboration. And I just sort of sent a few of my pieces in to the Mexican embassy. They were looking for artists to collaborate. So here I'm going, all being well, to the artwork should arrive from Mexico any day soon, and I'm going to finish my part of the painting and then submit it to the Rain Dance Film Festival in London in June
Okay.
to sort of celebrate these relationships. So these are things I would never have got to do. So I
Mhm.
just love meeting. I'm very nosy. I said I'm quite nosy. I love meeting people. I love different cultures and customs, and I think that's a gift I have as well. I believe it's a God-given gift, and I just love it. I love meeting people. Maybe I should have been a podcaster, but I think I'm too random for that. So yeah, so maybe that's why I'm a creative. I love visual representation of things. I think, yeah. But so I've got to meet loads of new people, and I've got to sell some art along the way, and that's paid for all my paints and paid for flight tickets and paid for holidays. So it's good. That's all good,
So
and I enjoy it.
it sounds very exciting. I'm very happy for you. And where do you see your creative powers? How do you see them evolving in the future?
Um, I'm hoping that I become more single-minded, clearer on where I'm going with my
Mm.
art. I think the longer you're in it, the more streamlined the processes are. So you just know this is what I need to do to create a beautiful piece of art that people will enjoy. You know, in the beginning, it's trial and error, it's trying this, it's building up your supplies. You know, only yesterday I got these new coloring pencils that arrived. They're sort of like soft coloring pencils that you can apply the detail to artwork. So I don't know, you can
Mm.
see there's markings and scratchings. And so it's just um, getting better at what I do. And I guess getting better at marketing it too and getting it out there. And using it for God's glory, you know, to celebrate life in all its vastness, and yeah, to inspire people, um, to bring joy, but just a reminder that flowers die, flowers fade, and that we're not here forever, but to
Yeah.
make the most of life in all its vastness and its beauty. Um, so yeah, I think my journey will never end until I get to heaven, and then it starts all over again, and I get to make new colors and design different things, and so I think that's just I believe I'm in the beginning. I always think in the beginning God created, so it's a creator. He's a creator God, and it says He hovered over the waters of the earth before, and I often think, what would that have been like just to have just had a blank canvas and just to be able to bring things into being. And
Mhm.
as an artist, I sort of feel that's a bit like I don't know, I'm just imagining maybe that's a bit like what it was like. You've got the power to decide what you put on canvas, what colors you mix, what you want to say, when it's going to happen, how big that's going to, and it's just such a joy to be able to do that. But I think that is um, how we're made, and
Mhm.
I think it's a way of bringing us closer to the real meaning behind life.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's more than just it's it's um it's almost like it brings me closer to being really human, but there's the eternal side of me that is brought out when I paint, that soul side. Um, anyway, enough said.
So you thank you for sharing your love for art, for creativity. And now
Mm.
for this part of the interview, I would like to ask you, are there any other artists, upcoming artists that you know of that you can suggest we keep an eye on?
Ooh, let me see. Hmm. Yeah, there's lots of really budding talent out there. A friend of mine, Yvonne Ballantyne, is a lovely artist, and she is just around the corner from me, and I love her stuff. So yeah, I have more artists that I appreciate that have been in the past.
Mhm.
Again, I'm so busy, just looking after the home and teaching and everything else. I don't get as much time as I would like to connect with other artists.
Mhm.
Most of it is done. Most of my art therapy is online. I would follow the odd class online, or I would, sort of just check out what techniques and what I would learn a lot from the internet. But I just love Klimt. Now I know he's not an upcoming artist, but that is one of my inspirations. Klimt. I love the mosaic. Anybody that does sort of patchworky mosaic, mixed media. Um, I love all that. Yeah.
Awesome. And now I have my final question, and that is for you. Why is creativity so important?
Um, I think it's healing. It is brings joy, release. Some people love reading, and that's an escapism. For me, I find that time just disappears when I'm painting. I could look at my clock and it's about 3 hours, and I wouldn't even
Mhm.
realize time has passed. So it's really healing. I have one other piece here. Now this was a piece, and it's quite a mindless piece. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's just a series of
Yeah.
lines, but one day I just sat down and I just wanted time and space to myself, and I just got down and combined a lot of colors. And so this is called Happy Thoughts. You can't really see it very well. I have to put
Mhm.
my glasses on, but it's sort of the color doesn't come out. It's quite vibrant. If you see it in sort of certain lights, it's quite vibrant, but it's just again just relaxing therapy. So that's Happy Thoughts. This one was on a similar vein. It's Deep in Thought. I thought I might put this one up in my toilet. So you'd be deep in thought, contemplating the meaning of the planet. But yeah, again, it gets me into a good headspace. I find it relaxing. Um, Other styles, let me see what else have we got. This one's called Reverie, and it's a very subtle one. You can't really see. It's got a bit of
Mhm.
gold leaf in it. It's
Yes.
very hard to see there, but it's sort of like it's called Reverie, so it's dreaming. So yeah. So again, it's just an indulge. I just indulge the senses, and I just get to imagine and escape for a few hours. So that's really why I love my art. Um, and then I enjoy putting it in people's living rooms. There's an app that I have where you can take a picture and you can put it in people's living rooms. It's like Canva or somewhere, and then it just looks so nice. It just brings the space alive. So I love interiors and design, and making places pretty, making homes feel like home. So that is something, interior design is something I'm very interested in. I love, and I love color. So it's just doing what you love. But that color, you see, it does it justice when I hold it up like that.
Yeah.
That's much better. I think when the light is glaring on it, it doesn't look great. But again, just a reminder, it's a nice reminder to bloom where you're planted. Don't be wishing you were somewhere else. Just enjoy where you're at
I
in
love
the
it.
garden. Yeah.
Thank you so
Anyway,
much.
oh, you're welcome. It was so lovely to meet you and hear a bit about your creative journey, although it's mostly been about mine, but you were sharing a bit earlier on about your love for creating podcasts.
Well, yeah, that was before we press record. I was sharing, for the audience, I was sharing with Kate here that although I might not be the most talented where it comes to painting and doing all these doodles or whatever, I do have a passion for asking questions, for having curiosity and just hearing the answer. And just seeing where it goes, because it can lead maybe me to maybe make a poem, or it can lead someone else in the audience to make some form of painting. I don't know, but I just feel that my creativity is sitting down and having that curiosity, and to allow the person to express their love for
Mhm.
creativity. And also part of it is, um I feel like if I were to go back in time and, let's say, meet with like Rembrandt or Michelangelo, I mean, we do have things about them, but we don't have any video interviews. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we can go back in time? But we can't.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
reality. So now in my present time, in my timeline, I want to capture interviewing as many people as I can, because later on it can be looked back, and instead of history books, it's like, all right, class, let's watch this clip of Ryan Anthony interviewing Kate Schutte. It's like, all right, I mean,
The
that's
famous. Oh, will be long forgotten by then. I know. Just like the
well,
flowers, here today, gone tomorrow. But you know what? That's freeing as well. My goal in life is not to be famous. I think it just takes a lot of pressure off. I think, that, it's just to follow your passion and do what you've been called to do. And it might not be to change the world, but just one life at a time. And at the minute, my garden where I need to be blooming is with my family and my mom, who's not well. She's old, and remember to provide for my family and my church. I'm very involved in my local church, and just to please my Father God. So that to me is my purpose in life. And that gives me great peace. And I also get to create and to do fun things in the middle of all the busyness, but I have to just
excuse me.
remind myself, and think art is good at reminding me that as well.
So now,
Here's the dog. Do you want to see my little dog?
sure.
This is
Oh,
Migo,
hello.
who needs a walk. He needs to be walked. That's the other thing. The dog needs walk, but yeah, I'm washed.
So now, I just wanted to ask as we close, where can people find more about you online, and where can people even buy some of your
Yeah,
artworks?
yeah, good question. I do like to sell my artwork. I've sold quite a lot of pieces internationally. But it's mostly friends and through other friends. But I do have a website, and it's Kate Schutte's Kate, Schutte, all one word, SCHUTTE .UK, and then that will bring you to my website. Also, I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Kate Schutte Art, and you can contact me in any shape or form of those social media platforms, whether it's the website or social media, and I can ship wherever. I've got um, I've got my shipping express DHL organized, so they just pick it up from the door and they can drop it anywhere in the world. Yeah, so hopefully you'll spell the name right, because there are a few Kate Shooters, but I'm Kate Shooter SCHUTTE. Um, UK Kate Shooter
Dot.
Art.uk,
Okay. Kate
or just
Shoots
Kate
Art.
Shooter Art. Yeah.
I'll leave the links in the show notes, so that people can find you. And of course, if you're interested, uh, go ahead and order some of her artworks. That'd be great. And hang it up on your wall,
Yeah.
and even take a picture and share it with us. That would be awesome. So again, Kate, thank you so much for your time and for
Oh, you're
sharing
welcome.
your love for creativity on the podcast, Creativity Worth Expressing.
Oh, thank you so much.